How many of you just want to get to that point where you are holding your beautiful baby in your arms? You're looking at that baby and you're thinking, I did it. I made you, and I did it the way that I wanted. I had a natural birth, I had a natural pregnancy, and that was what I had hoped for. This is not all about hopes and dreams. This is not about manifestation. This is about how can we get you at your current age, with all the odds stacked against you in the medical world, how can we get you to that point as fast as possible in your best health? Because one thing you might be thinking is, how can I be in my best health when I'm the oldest I've ever been? I'm going to show you exactly how. And I can assure you by the end of this training, you're going to believe me when I say that I can take you from where you are now, and that's struggling to fall pregnant, whatever's actually going on for you. Let's just say there's something underlying that you haven't been able to address just yet, or that you haven't been able to find the answer to. And I'm going to take you from that situation between you and your partner, and I'm going to take you to a whole new world where not only are you and your partner feeling the healthiest, the most vibrant that you've ever felt, you are genetically programming your baby to be the healthiest genetic match and genetic combination humanly possible, and lowering all of your risks throughout pregnancy, increasing the chances of a natural, happy, healthy baby, pregnancy, and birth, and a great postpartum period. Can it be done? Yes, it can. I'm Dee Zabara. I'm a natural health and fertility expert, and I have helped hundreds of women change their fertility. More recently, I have worked with both couples, and I feel as though there was a major missing piece when it came to the fertility industry. And I knew that by using my skills and my expertise and all the success that I've had with women, I knew that if I had just upskilled myself to ensure that everything that we were working on was equivalent for the male partner, that together there would be the highest, most incredible humanly possible chance of you being able to fall pregnant naturally and being able to do it in a way that really it should be. And that is feeling great, looking great, having some fun, which is how babies are made, and just really being able to enjoy that whole process without it feeling overwhelming. Because I know where you're probably at right now. I know right now you're probably like, this feels really hard, and I know that there's an answer, but I can't for the life of me find the friggin' answer. Where is it? And I need somebody who is a support, who is a guidance, who knows their shit, who's going to get results. And I want it to be tailored and personalized to me. I also want it to be comprehensive, proven, like no stone unturned. I want to make sure that every single part of this ensures that if there is a baby in my future, in any way, shape, or form, that I am putting myself in the absolute best humanly possible position in order for that baby to come and begin to grow and start my family with. And so this is where Fertility Magic comes in. Now, it's a program that is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm going to share with you a little bit more about that, but I'm also going to give you, before the end of this training, a few tips and tricks that you can start to implement immediately to start to improve your fertility. So I'm actually going to share with you the exact steps to balance your hormones and increase your fertility. I'm going to give you a reason why deep detoxification is so crucial and such a missing step when it comes to fertility and like overhauling both you and your partner's fertility. And I'm going to give you the important environmental, inner and outer impacts, particularly when you're around the age of 40. Now, you probably walked into a doctor's office and either people have made you feel like you're a little bit crazy, or because maybe you have been infertile because you've been trying for 6 or more months. So if you're over 35 and you've been trying for more than 6 months, you're considered infertile. People might not only make you feel a little bit crazy, but also make you feel a little bit like, if you were to fall pregnant, almost like you're doing that baby a disservice. Like if you were 40 and you had a baby now, that'll be like the worst thing you could do. But if you're in my community and you've been drawn to this training, I can almost guarantee that you're the kind of person, and you and your partners, you're probably the sort of people who had all the success built in your life prior to falling pregnant. And unlike a lot of people who just kind of went into it head first, kind of hoping for the best, you actually know that you're perfectly set up and you're so ready. And you in your 20s, or even maybe, your earlier 30s, maybe back then that you wouldn't have been as great parents as you could be now. And now you're so ready, but you're kind of stuck with all these unanswered questions because for whatever reason, you're not able to fall pregnant. So let me show you exactly what the answer is. So the answer is a little bit of everything. It's something within my 4-environment framework. And this 4-environment framework really is the way that I'm able to help so many people fall pregnant. And it's often something I don't find anywhere else in the marketplace. I haven't seen anything like it. And if it's been something like it, I often find actually doing the program, from reports that I've heard from other people, actually doing the program feels really overwhelming. And so I'm a bit of a master in how to create programs that don't feel overwhelming. Because at the end of the day, the way that you fall pregnant is so essential to how that pregnancy unfolds. And often our babies don't want to come into any kind of stressful environment. And if internally you're having some inner conflict about the mental load and the mental stress of a program, that baby is not going to want to come in. And so if you're trying to call your baby in and you so desperately want this baby, you're like, baby, come find me, I'm here, I'm so ready. Often that baby is waiting for you to do the work to up-level yourself, to upgrade your frequency, but also physically upgrade your body so that it can come in, because then it will know that it is able to be there for the whole time, right? You're not going to have a miscarriage and you're not going to lose a baby early. And now, sorry, if you're watching this and you have had a miscarriage or you have had a chemical pregnancy, I can't even imagine how difficult that would be. I know I've had so many clients and we've had such, close conversations with really how difficult it is. And me now having 2 children, knowing just how hard that could be, I know that my work is so needed in this world. I'm 100% sure of it. And I know that I can get results for people. Why? Because people don't know this information. They just don't know this information. This information is not Googleable. You can't search it. You can't find it. And not only that, but when you get to your 40s, a lot of people are really scared. They're really scared to say, hey, I can make you the most fertile that you've ever been in your life, even if you're the oldest that you've ever been. But that's what I'm trying to say. And the payoff, when you're able to actually go through this work and do this work that is required, you're able to look at your babies, to look at your children and to say, wow, I really had to hold that faith. I had to hold that vision. I knew it was possible and I did the work necessary. And even though nobody else could see the end result, I could see the end result, or we could see the end result with you and your partner. And you were able to get there. And I will guide you there. I will guide you there. I have had so many couples that I've been able to help fall pregnant. Talitha was one woman that I was able to help fall pregnant. They had six failed IVF rounds. And I have also had a client, Jasmine, who had 7 failed IVF rounds. And so it's not that, it was just a matter of time, because actually with every IVF cycle, your body is actually in a higher state of hormonal imbalance. So it's not that it was just going to be a matter of time. It's the fact that we were able to heal their bodies from the inside out, from the cell to soul of that person and those people. And we were able to make sure that that baby had the best chance to not only be conceived, but to also go to term. And so that's so important. I discovered my strategy with a combination of my own experience and my own personal hormonal journey, as well as the best of the best protocols that I was able to implement for clients over the years. And I kind of put together this mega protocol that just has had such incredible success. There's literally no other way to explain it. Such incredible success. And I think possibly because I'm such a why person, why does that work? Why does that work? Why is this not working? And really digging deeper and doing things a bit outside of the box as well. And I'm sure if you're here, you're a little bit outside of the box too, because you're like, this is my life. I'm going to do what works for me. And kind of like whatever everybody else says, that's your opinion. And that's just how it is. And so, you know, I've done the hard work. I've worked with enough clients to just really go, okay, like what's working for you? What's not working for you? How can we tweak this? And I have found time and time again that all that is required is one comprehensive protocol. It's one protocol. And this is what I've now named Fertility Magic, because it does feel a little bit like magic. There's so many layers to it, but when you're actually going through it as a client, it doesn't actually feel all that overwhelming. And that was the most important like value to me. I don't want you guys to feel like, you know, you're so stressed. You're so stressed, because it's stressful, and you just want someone to feel like they get you and they understand what it's like. And when you're going through, and I'm sure you've been through some programs and some protocols that have been a little bit tricky or a little bit difficult, and it has relied on a large sense of discipline and commitment and just like reminding yourself why you're doing this. I wanted it to feel as easy and easeful as it could possibly feel. And so what the, you know, feedback that I get a lot from my clients is, wow, this really doesn't feel that hard. And I'm very excited to say that Fertility Magic is a very new program in and of itself, in the way that it has been named and presented to the world. But I've been doing this protocol for a very long time. And now that I've sort of put it all together and tied it up with a bow, and it's a once, you know, go through the entire protocol kind of thing, we have had someone fall pregnant. And, you know, it's pretty cool because, you know, at 37, after 8 years of trying and no result, nothing, you know, a very, very early miscarriage, but that was kind of before the bulk of like the years of trying. To go from that to pregnant is a really big deal, and how many of you can see that sometimes it's just a matter of doing the right things in the right combination that then is the answer? Because I know that from where you're standing, you probably thought to yourself, I've done a lot of the work. I've done a lot of this. I've done a lot of that. I've done a lot of gut healing. I've done a lot of, you know, fertility diets. I've done a lot of acupuncture and stress management and all those things. And yes, those things are important, and those things make up the components of a program that's going to be really effective. But it's not going to have the same influence as the right program and the right tools that you're implementing at the right time. It's actually the sequence that matters. And when you get to a point where, you know, you feel as though the clock is ticking and you feel like you're running out of time, you just want someone to go, here's the answer. Here it is on a silver platter. I've done all the work for you. There it is. And have extreme confidence that that is the answer. And that's what I'm presenting to you today. So let's go into a little bit of like where I feel like you are right now. So you might feel a little bit like you're second guessing yourself, like maybe there isn't a solution. Maybe IVF is my only option, because you're not going to bow down. You're not going to give up. You know you want this baby. You are so ready to be a mom and a dad. And you guys are like, this is not over. We just have to actively find a different solution. You think to yourself, oh God, I don't know. IVF sounds tempting. It sounds like perhaps it could be the option. But when we intervene, and you already know this, but when you intervene with the body's natural way of doing things, there is going to be consequences. And I can't imagine that you are willing to take a risk that has 33% of a guarantee, and that if it doesn't work, which is 66% likely that it's not going to work, so more likely that it's not going to work than it is going to work, you're going to be happy with the fact that it might set you back at least a few months after all the retrieval and the transfer is done. Because, like I said, with IVF and with any other assisted reproductive technologies that are offered to you, it creates more hormonal imbalance, right? So can you see that even you trying naturally right now, even if you're not quite able to fall pregnant, it is still a better overall outcome than if you were to come in and interrupt the body's natural processes. The way that you conceive, the state that you and your partner are in at the point of conceiving is what your baby will get passed down. So let's just say you were having like the hardest, most stressful few months and your partner was equal. At the moment of conception, that baby probably is going to end up with some chromosomal abnormalities because the combination of different physical and emotional and mental stresses on the body is going to have DNA damage. And so then when you create that embryo, it doesn't have a very strong chance of being able to survive, because not only do you have compromised sperm quality, you have compromised egg quality, and you have low mitochondrial function, because stress is an energetic wasteland. It's just going to chew up all of your energy because your body is trying to constantly overcorrect. So pretty much the outcome that you want to get to is a point where you're both feeling and looking like you can see it from the inside out. You guys are feeling your absolute healthiest, because then your sperm quality and egg quality is going to be premium. Your body's going to have the best chance of not only creating an embryo, but holding that embryo. And postpartum, that's going to have a whole ripple of effects, this domino effect that is going to increase all of your outcomes in a positive direction. If you're tracking with me, just like make sure you're here, make sure you're with me. Essentially what you're trying to do is really, with my program, with the way that I work and how I can offer to help, is with 4 steps. And really your 4 steps are that one, you're just stopping and you're boosting. So you just kind of like put a pause, put a pin in it, hold the phone. You've got to start boosting all of those energy levels. You've got to start boosting those nutrient levels. You've got to get the body back to a state where like you're going to start to look and feel really good. That's where we need to get you to. And that's going to be with a combination of how you eat, how you train, your nervous system balance, and some other things as well. Then step 2 is we need to prep the body, because we're about to go in with something that is so transformational, you're not going to know what hit you. You and your partner are going to really go through this incredible transformation from your cells to your soul. Now, there's lots of support, so don't you worry about the whole process of this, but the actual implementation of it is quite easy. Navigating it is where my expertise comes in, as well as how you're going to support that on a day-to-day basis without you feeling like your whole world is put off spin and off kilter. So how can you basically rebirth yourself and your partner as human beings, from your cells to your soul, without your whole life falling to pieces and you feel like this is way too hard? We're going to do it in a way that is going to feel easy, that is going to feel like it's not a huge change in your life, and it's going to give you so much clarity on how easy it's going to be able to go from not fertile to your most fertile, your best health, and the most positive outcomes on your baby. Let's just pause here for a second, because the most positive outcomes on your baby, like, I know sometimes it's hard to think ahead. I know sometimes you're thinking to yourself, okay, yeah, sure, it would be nice to think about what my baby's health is going to be like. Sure, I want my baby to be a good sleeper and have a good personality and have, be a little happy, smiley baby. Sure, I want those things. But maybe you're not really grasping the influence that you have now at the point of conception and the months leading up to that. The months leading up to what happens as your egg is getting released, in the month before you actually ovulate, and in that first trimester, and for the rest of your pregnancy really, has such strong ties to the other side when they're in the earth and they're in the world. And what I'm trying to help you do is not only fall pregnant. Honestly, that's the easy part. You follow my program, that's the easy part. I don't care how many You know, I don't care how many failed rounds you've had of whatever. It doesn't matter if you've had miscarriages before. It doesn't matter if you even have a perfect cycle and you're like, I can't even see anything wrong with my cycle. It doesn't matter. I can take you from where you are right now to having the best postnatal experience, because that's where you're bonding with your baby. That sets your baby up for life. And you have so much more influence than you know right now. In fact, I would even say the universe has set you here on this computer or on this phone watching this training because you needed to know this information before falling pregnant. And possibly this was the reason you haven't been able to fall pregnant yet, is because this is the information that you need to know. This is what you needed to hear, because otherwise the other outcome that could have eventuated might have been a really sick child, might have been a really hard postnatal experience, may have looked like some postnatal depression, may have looked like not being able to bond with your child, may have looked like deep anxiety or depression, or, conflict with your partner, or, it could have been so many other things, or actually having a baby that you felt like you had to bubble wrap in the world. That is not any parent's dream. No parent starts this process thinking, oh, that's what I want. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants a sick child. But what they don't recognize is that in the early days, even before conception, you can set your baby up because you are building the strongest genetic baby you possibly can, which means they are going to be more resilient to disease, to illness, to stress, to all of those things, even if you were unlucky enough to have a really difficult pregnancy. Maybe you had some huge stresses going on in your life. If you had a genetic combination or a genetic profile for that little baby that was very weak and very compromised because you and your partner weren't in your best health at the moment of conception, it is much more likely that baby is not going to make it to term. And even more likely that if that baby did make it to term, would not be a very healthy baby, wouldn't be very resilient. And that's really not what you want. So what I'm trying to make really clear, which I hope you can see, can you see that by doing the work now, by just going, okay, let's just commit, let's just do this comprehensive proven formula, let's go. Let's completely reset our bodies from our cell to soul. Let's commit to the work and let's do it together. That you can have drastic impact on the outcome of that beautiful little baby and the future that you guys have together as a family, especially in the early days. Because, my friends, it's not easy. And I'm sure you guys have friends and family members, and you've seen how hard it can be. And I want for you to have the best experience possible. Now back to step 2. Step 2, we've already sort of said that we're going to prep the body. So step 1 is boost, step 2 is prep. Step 3 is where we detox. We go hard. And I say detox as a bit of an umbrella statement. We are going to use detox supplements and detox protocols, and I layer in a few things that make them really effective. We are going to remove and lift out of the body a lot of energy and emotional baggage, which will come up as you start to clear the body physically. And we work through all of that in succession to ensure that does not affect the health and the quality of your baby. And I'm going to make sure that your bodies, with a tailored approach as well, because we'll have a personalized hormonal assessment when we first begin the program, to make sure that your journey is tailored for you and that your body is going to be set up. I know your body, I know your partner's body, and I can help you guys navigate throughout the entire program. We have a WhatsApp group, so I'm here for you always. You can book in on a Wednesday, and we have support calls. So whenever you need support from me, we just book in and we go through whatever it is that we need to go through. It was physical, non-physical, emotional stuff going on for you. Just want to double check something's come up and something's changed. And so you want to troubleshoot things. And so, okay, go, right, what does this look like now? Where do we go from here? Because I wish everyone's journey was super simple, super easy, and they could just follow the program to a T and we'd have no hiccups, but that's not life. And this is why I'm here to help you navigate all of that, because I know that the program works. And so it's how do we match your life to the program to make sure that you get the absolute best outcomes, the most undeniable chance that you can possibly have of being able to have not only a baby, but a very healthy baby. That is what I am in the business of healthy babies. That's what I want to help you have. So step 3 is the detox. And then step 4 is where you get to have fun. You just get to have fun. Why? Because that's the way babies should be made. Nobody set out to, have a timer and follow a tracking app and be like, let's go have sex. It's about having fun, right? You want it to feel like there's not a whole heap of pressure. Sure, that you think in the back of your head in the beginning, it feels like there's a ticking clock, but how good would it feel? Tell me, how good would it feel to be able to be intimate with your partner without that pressure, to take that pressure off, to know that you are so much more fertile, and to know if it's so close and it's so much more possible now than it ever was before with anything you had ever done, regardless of who you worked with before. Because I've had a lot of people come to me who've worked with naturopaths and they've been told, yes, I'll work with your hormones, I'll work with your fertility, and they still aren't where they want to be. They still haven't held the baby in their arms that they've always wanted. And so that is what I'm here to change. I'm the person you come to when nothing else works. And I mean nothing. So, some of you might be thinking, oh gosh, I can't give you 5 months, Dee. I just don't have that time. I want to be pregnant like yesterday. And I totally understand that. I want to also ask you the question, would it be worth it if in 5 months from now, we're coming up to August, we have literally 8 days before this registration closes. Today, it's the 22nd of July. What would it mean to you to know that by the beginning of next year, you are as fertile, you and your partner are as fertile as you will ever be? And the chance of being able to fall pregnant is so high, and you can just relax and feel like you're in your 20s again, and just have fun like you're in your 20s again, and have no pressure like you're in your 20s again. Would it be worth it if that was the outcome, if that was the way that your baby could come into this world? Because your baby is a little sponge, and it's going to, everything that you're going through from the moment of conception and even before that is imprinting on your baby, whether you know it or not. And so the way that that baby comes to be made, the way that the baby grows in the environment that it grows, it can hear mommy and daddy shouting. It can hear, things going wrong. It can hear tears and sadness. It can hear all of that. It can feel it. Your hormones will change as a result of all of those things. And so everything is imprinted on your baby. And that's not to start the mum guilt early, let me tell you, but it is to empower you to know, okay, if I know that now before I've even started, then I have the power to change all of that and to put the odds in my favor as much as possible with every step of the way. Let me talk about just a few clients, just so that you know that this is really possible, because I think it's really important for us to be aware that there are some people that I've helped who have had so many autoimmune diseases and have had gut issues since they were little, and have had, really bad reactions to things in their adult life, and their skin has basically fallen off and their teeth have been transparent, or they've had such bad PCOS or endo or PMS or PMDD or anything along those lines. This can be obviously like what I just mentioned there is for the women, but all those other things could be for the guys as well. So autoimmune conditions and all these other things. And then I've also had couples who seem perfectly healthy, whose cycle is pretty regular, who don't have huge, symptoms, cycle symptoms, and they actually don't seem, it doesn't seem to really make any sense that they aren't able to fall pregnant. So I've had an array of different people, and my average client has been around 40. So is it possible for them? Yeah. Does that mean it's possible for you? Yeah. I've had many people come to me who said, I'm a medical anomaly. Nobody can work out what's wrong with me. I've worked with naturopaths and nutritionists and herbalists. I've done acupuncture, traditional Chinese medicine. Nothing's worked and I can't figure out why. And then they've come to work with me and then they've been able to fall pregnant. So being proactive with that in mind, with all that in mind, knowing that I've been able to help people who are in their late 30s, who are in their early 40s, who are in their mid 40s, and be able to help all of these people be able to fall pregnant. Do you believe that you can do this? Because I'm sure you're sitting there nodding, saying, yeah, Dee, I can do this. Let's go. Where do I sign up? So if it's okay with you, I'd like to make it super clear how I help people fall pregnant and what does my program look like. So what next? If you're asking what next, let me share that with you. So I take people from I can't work out what's wrong with me. I know in my heart of hearts that we are meant to be parents. I know this is possible, but I cannot work out for the life of me why this is not happening now. And they've gone from like trying to fall pregnant to like trying not to fall pregnant, like almost like kidding themselves that like they're not really trying, just to take the pressure off. And then they've gone to use my strategies, use my protocols, and actually do my program Fertility Magic, and be able to go from that seriously like stressed, overwhelmed, consuming every single thought, circumstance and situation, to being able to feel so confident, so clear in what they need to do, and just so easeful in the fact that all they need to do is just follow the process. They just need to follow the program. They don't need to stress about anything else. They know that they have someone there, some support, someone who is able to oversee all of the parts of their life and be able to course correct them where needed, be able to work with them and partner with them and respect their wishes for their life and their body, and still empower them to make the most informed choices that they can possibly make. So that might not look like exactly what is I feel is ideal for the program, but if that's what works for you, that's what works for you. And this is the journey to parenthood. And by the time that you get to actually becoming a parent where you actually have that baby in your arms, this is that initiation. This program is going to set you up to be the best parents you can possibly be, because this is what you're learning along the way as well. You're learning how to work with providers, but how to have providers who actually care about your opinion, who actually care what you have to say, and say, okay, I can see it from this perspective, but if you feel like this is the most important thing, or this is, a decision that you really don't want to budge on, or something that like is really important to you, here's what that means here. Here's how we can compensate for that here, because it might have this effect. What do you think? And I think that's really important. And then the payoff is going to be so great, because you're going to have so much more confidence that even if you have had a miscarriage before, or you've been in a situation where you've been trying for so long that you're almost at the point where you're like, is this too good to be true? We work through not only all of that emotional stuff as well, because that is really important, and that's going to seed a lot of your belief and influence a lot of your action. But we're going to be able to take you to that place where you do have that confidence, and where you may have fallen pregnant with other technologies, or say with IVF, if you ever eventually got there, which you won't if you're doing this program, but if you ever eventually got there, you would have the confidence to go, I actually know, I can see, and I've seen over the course of this program, I've actually seen my body change. I now know what to look for to know that this is working. And so I know that I am the most fertile. I know I have the best chance of this coming to term. There should be nothing else in the way, because we addressed all of the things that you and your partner are going to need in order for this baby not only to be conceived, to go to term, and to be as healthy as possible. So you're going to be in a really confident place where you're like, okay, when I am pregnant, I don't have to be full of fear and full of anxiety, because I now understand and know I have the skills to be able to see that my health is okay, and that this is not too good to be true. This is going to last, because now I know what to look for in my body. I can actually tell. I'm in tune enough with my body now to be able to tell when something's okay, and to be able to tell when something's wrong. And I find a lot of people, when they fall pregnant, they just live in this perpetual state of anxiety. You don't want that either. And maybe you haven't thought to that point just yet, because you're like, I just want to fall pregnant. I just want to fall pregnant. But there's also that you've got to consider as well. So I'm here saying, it's okay. I've got you. I understand. I've spent so much money, time, and energy helping other people do this exact program. And I've shortcut so much of this for you that I have the confidence, and you can borrow my confidence, not fake confidence, but true confidence that your body is okay, your body is good, your body is healthy. And if you were to fall pregnant today, you'll be all right, and it will be okay. And that, I think, for me, is like the best gift ever. I know if I had somebody like me, someone emotionally supporting and physically overlooking everything that was going on for me, and making sure that things were tailored for me, and just like there to like coach me if I needed it, and just really like look after the whole process for me and like do all the ordering of my supplements, and just, can I just pay someone to just do the thinking for me? Can you just like deliver everything to my door that I need? Because I want this outcome and I want this program. I'm so overwhelmed. I don't want to think about it. I want this to be a really, a really easeful, a really like step-by-step, no fuss experience. And I'm willing to do the work. I'll do what I need to do. I just don't want it to feel overwhelming. So if that's you, then you're so my person. I want to help you get there faster, and I want to help you get there as quick as possible, without compromising your health. It's not a race. It's about doing what you need to do in the shortest amount of time that it can be done. And that is like my inner genius. Like that's where I think, I'm able to create programs that really excel. Because no, you don't have time off your sleeve. You don't. The clock is ticking, but it is not what the doctors have told you. It is not the fact that you're 40, which is the reason you can't fall pregnant. It's the fact that you haven't been able to optimize your sperm and egg quality. And as time goes on, we become more and more and more toxic and more imbalanced. Basically, where I'm going to take you is we're going to basically strip it all back, start again, and pretty much reset your entire body from your cells to your soul. And your hormones are going to have a huge influence in that. And we're just going to remove every single roadblock along the way. And there's going to be so many things that you're doing just by following the protocol that you don't even realize how much good stuff you're doing, because the protocol is so layered. So literally all you have to do is just like follow it, have a good time, ask me any questions that you need, come to the masterclasses, which are once a month. We have Q&A calls once a month as well, and lean on the support that is there for you. I am here for you. I was literally put on this earth to help people create healthy families. So use it. Use it. So if you would like to be part of this program, Fertility Magic, if you would like to see how deep detoxification program, how changing your hormones, how really like resetting yourself and your partner is going to have a huge influence on the outcome of your baby, being able to fall pregnant and hold pregnancy and have a beautiful little family unit that is super healthy and thriving, then you're going to want to jump into this program. And we only have a very short time left before the final intake of the year is closed off. So like I said, before August 1st. So it's going to be the 30th of July, which is going to be the last attempt that you have to be able to join the program. And we also are going to have to, in that first week, organize a personalized fertility assessment for both you and your partner, so that I can get to know both of your bodies, your whole history, where you've been up until this point, so that I can serve you as best as humanly possible. All you've got to do is click the link below, and I would love to be able to book a call with you and talk through all of this to ensure that you are building your beautiful dream family. I can't wait to work with you, and I can't wait to chat with you. Make sure you book your call below.